We seem to be going through a time on the planet Earth when life as we know it, have been living it, is changing very rapidly. And it's hard to tell where we're going. It's in times like these that we want to really connect with the divine nucleus that's inside each one of us. That we want to have an experience together that whatever we're seeking is right here, already present and available. The beloved is here. We are the beloved. We are the beloved. Just by being here together today, we're blessed. We ask the truth to come to us and set us free. And the truth will come, for it has never been apart from us. It merely waits just for this invitation, which we give today. Everything we're searching for is here right now, already. The guide tells us that the human mind is mistaken in taking in what we see as the whole, yet as human beings, we only see small segments. So one of the things that we do together here is create an experience of awareness of the bigger picture of who we really are. Byron Katie says that life is the constant opportunity to wake up. And what we do here is find the joy in that, because the duty is sometimes so in our face, right? To create our own life takes courage. Yet no one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. This is a guarantee. Human nature wants to blame our lot in life on outside forces, to give up because we think fate is against us. It's easy to think that where we were raised, how our parents treated us, what school we went to is what determines our future. Yet, it's simply not true. The only thing that defines us is how we deal with the random events of life that can feel like unfairness. Life is the guru, Gangaji says. So we're here to support each other and be supported as we shift our identification, our sense of self, from the mental human to the intuitive transcendent. Already here in me, in you, for me, for us, for we. Each one of us is on our own journey, yet we're traveling together. That's the good news. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin here, right now, with me, with you. Each of our struggles Each of our suffering is the same as everyone else's, no matter how different it looks like on the surface. And we're here to bring patience, kindness, compassion, understanding to each other, and as we do that, to the person that is the hardest to extend that to, ourself. So let's let the eyes soften. Go inside. Begins with a direction, yet we're entering the dimension that's already here. Let the breath breathe you. Let life breathe you. Instead of breathing, let yourself be breathed. In each breath, there are countless instants of time. Let your intention be to live in this now of each instant. Notice all the thoughts, all the emotions insisting they are true. Let them go, just like that. Just want to let them go. Sink below them to the holy place where they can't enter. There is a door beneath thoughts and emotions in our awareness. The door is ajar. Open it and enter. The quieter we become, the more we can hear. Feel the earth under your seat, under your feet. Rock steady. You hear earth say, I got you. I got you. Bring your awareness to your belly where emotions live and move day and night. Hear the earth say, let me have those. And visualize and feel them moving down into the earth. All of them, let me have all of them, you hear earth say. Feel the sky overhead and light coming down through your crown into every place that's ever been dark or cold. Bring a hand to your forehead and feel an anthill of thoughts tumbling around one another. Look between the thoughts rather than at the thoughts. Sky says, I'll take those. See your thoughts leaving through the top of your head and disappearing like a flock of birds in the sky. Feel the energy of the earth and the sky seeking each other, meeting each other in the center of your being. Visualize an unwinding spiral galaxy of presence within your core, expanding at life speed all on its own. Allow this moment of stillness to burn out all obstacles without fail. Just be willing. Take a few moments and let yourself be as full as you will allow of the grace that's here. For each one of us, no matter what our story is. Taking all the time in the world, all your sweet time. Let your eyes open and come to the other faces on the screen. People like you, like me. Also leaving a part of you here at the well. Hello, and welcome again. So we're going to do our go-rounds now, and to say your name and where you are on the planet. We want to visualize you on the globe and how you're feeling, and a reminder to those who've been here before and to share with you that haven't been here before, to just say what you're feeling without any story why you're feeling that way, right? So for example, I might say, like, I'm just feeling really sad and hopeless right now, right? Without telling you why I'm feeling that way. And you might ask, well, why? Well, the interesting thing about our story is it actually takes away from people's ability just to connect with what we're sharing, right? When I tell you I'm really feeling sad and hopeless, it just opens up something in the heart of everybody who can hear that, right? Like we all have some version of that. And anybody can begin.
I guess I'll begin. Good morning. I
Morning,
guess it is.
Stephen. Good to have
Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Brian. I'm feeling well, I'm in Florida right now, and I'm feeling somewhat apprehensive.
you. Okay. Thank you, Stephen.
I can go. Hi, I'm Janet. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I guess I'm feeling some uncertainty for my personal future and for the world.
Wow, I can understand that. Whew. Yeah, thank you, Janet. Welcome.
Frank D'Alto, Richmond, Virginia. Feeling challenged at the moment.
Thank you, Frank.
Okay, I'm Chris. At the moment, I'm in Napa, California. My home is typically Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm making my home more here these days, and I'm so glad to be here. I've been absent for at least one time, so I'm feeling settled. I'm glad to be here.
Welcome, Chris. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
My name is Elisa. I'm connecting from Italy, and I'm feeling I'm tired. I'm pretty tired, and I feel a little bit anxious, preoccupied more than anxious. At the same time, I feel gratitude to share this time with you.
Thank you, Elisa.
I'm Saida and I'm from Denmark. I feel sadness, not in a tensed way, but in a very expanded way. In a way, it's like it's sadness in a soft way, expanded way. I don't know why, but I don't know.
It's sadness, the way you describe it, Saida, is a profound human feeling. It's authentic and real and safe. Welcome, Saida.
Thank you, Brian.
I'm Kathy. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Esther. All right. I'm Kathy. I'm from TBK, South Carolina, south of Charlotte. And I'm feeling, I hate to say it, but I'm feeling scared.
Okay, I understand. Welcome, Kathy. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
To a place where we can say whatever we're feeling and be heard without having to explain or defend or convince.
I'm Esther, and feeling just awkward at that moment. But I can accept that I feel awkward. What's to say?
Welcome, Esther.
I'm Dan. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. And I'm struggling a little bit to get here. A little anxious, unsettled, and vulnerable, I think.
Welcome as you are, Dan.
I'm Jim from Red Lake, Ontario. I was feeling really heavy, but Brian, your words always kind of lift me up. It felt good, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Glad you're here, Jim.
Hi, I'm Sandy from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I think I'm feeling not ready to be here, and a little preoccupied, a little anxious, and a little apprehensive, and a little scared, but also really grateful to be here. I'm grateful that you're all here. Thanks.
Glad you're here, Sandy, just as you are. My name is Brian. I'm in Chapel Hill, North Carolina in the U.S. And I'm feeling a little bit of what everybody shared. And side by side, my deep faith in what's holding us here, profound faith in what's holding us here. And also the human side of me that is trembling, anxious, afraid, worried, inadequate. And, the beauty of the go-round is not just to share where we are with others so they can be here with us. It's also just to hear ourselves acknowledge what's really going on with us, right? That actually a fair amount of healing comes from just being with whatever the feeling is instead of resisting it or attacking it, or very often attacking ourselves, right? So fear and anxiety are actually primary states of the human mind. And there's part of our fear and anxiety that comes from specific things that have happened, wounding, trauma, betrayal, abandonment, all those things, right? Yet, lo and behold, at the deepest level, behind fear and anxiety lies a human trait or constant longing to be certain, right? We're afraid of the unknown. And the mind's craving for certainty is rooted in this fear we have of impermanence. This is really primarily what the Buddha brought to our understanding, right? All our fear is fear of death, the Buddha says. And of course, to the human mind, that's the burning of impermanence, right? Yet we're all struggling with our own version of impermanence every day. aging, illness, the constant maintenance that it takes just to keep things going, right? So it really helps to have a place where we drop into an inquiry around this fundamental fear of uncertainty, of impermanence. Like, what's my version of it, right? Because the beauty of it, when we can connect with it, is it's independent of the story that we can't do anything about it. We're really starting to see, like, whoa, this is just part of my humble humanity. There's a part of me that's afraid of impermanence and is just constantly trying to control things. So courage comes when we can accept and appreciate uncertainty as the very fact of life and take back some of our negative projections onto it. I found for myself a secret to opening to uncertainty is that it means all states are temporary, including the challenging ones, right? Well, okay, I'll go along with that. I'll take that, right? No matter how bad I'm feeling, no matter how boiling the predicament I find myself in, it's going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? It's temporary. Even if the situation isn't temporary, like, I have a chronic illness, it's not going to go away. Yet my feeling sick is temporary. That comes and goes. So when we turn to uncertainty like the benign principle of life that it is, it's just a fact of life, something really interesting happens. We also free ourselves from the tyranny of the known. Right? A lot of what we know isn't very pleasant, right? A lot of what we know is our fixed beliefs that, life isn't fair, people are cruel, we're unworthy, all these things that we conclude and then establish as part of our subjective reality. These things really have a hold on us. We start to become less afraid of what we can't control and learn to fly into the winds of life. So when we start to have some faith and cultivate it, that whatever our experiences are that we're struggling with are not permanent, they're temporary too. We find ourselves preparing for the worst and allowing for the best. We find a dignity in it. We're pioneers here, exploring the unfolding wave of consciousness. Evolution is taking place right here, this very moment, in this circle. Inside me, inside you. Freedom is at hand here through the gateway of forgiveness. For others, sure, yet mostly for ourselves that we judge harshly. We're all carrying thousands of years of collective unworthiness an illusion of sin and wrongdoing, fear of punishment. Nothing is further from the truth. We are love, just the way we are. When we come together here, we can make well all that was sick and offer blessing where there was attack. So I want to pause here and just sit in this together and invite you to just see, what's been moving in you as I've been speaking, because it's not just me that's speaking, it's also the voice of your higher self. That's what we do here together, right? Especially if there's something that I've said that brings a reaction, you want to push back or question, or that's part of our dialectic here, right?
When you were talking about your chronic illness, I too have one with kidney issues. And so my compassion, I felt my compassion come out.
Mm-hmm.
And also, just accepting it and letting it have a life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if my optimistic views of, yes, you could totally heal, get in the way. But I definitely have that part of me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe it's I don't know where it comes from, but also leave it open and accept. It's kind of a balance,
Mm-hmm.
balancing act.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Pastor. I welcome your compassion, right? It helps me say, oh, I want some of that for myself, from myself, right? It's part of the magic that happens here.
Yeah, it's being able to identify and connect.
Mm-hmm.
A medical journey.
Yeah. So whatever is moving in you is welcome, yet I'm especially interested in the possibility of some of our struggle falling away when we see that fair amount of our fear and anxiety isn't about the things we think it's about, right? It's just that those things that we think it's about are our own version of a fundamental principle, like we're just here, and for a certain amount of time, and then it's all over, right? Yet, you see what happens with the fear of that, we miss out on being alive while we're really here. The fear of impermanence takes root and occupies some of the space that can be filled with bliss, really, happiness, the pleasure of being alive. That's why it's so valuable to take this on, right?
Hi. I've been As I said, I'm down in Florida, and it's a peaceful place where I am. And I find I'm just trying to watch my thoughts, not hold on or change to them, but watch them. And I've noticed that certain thoughts are very sticky. They keep coming back over and over again. And this morning I was wondering, why is this particular thought so sticky, keeps coming back, whereas other thoughts don't?
Mm-hmm.
And I could maybe give an answer, but I don't know what's real. I don't know what's true. I'm just noticing that certain thoughts
Right. So
are
can you
very
say the
troubling.
thought, Stephen? Can you say the thought that's so sticky?
Well, it's almost embarrassing because it's a thought about my dentist that I've been seeing for many years, and I keep getting the feeling that I'm being taken advantage of, and maybe that's why it's so sticky.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether I'm being taken advantage of or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that, for me, is the part that's most difficult. It's the unknowing
Right.
and not sure how to get out of it or proceed. And I'm trying to solve an equation that's not solvable.
I get it. Are you willing to work this a little bit together?
Sure, why not?
Because it can be helpful for all of us. You see, there are different levels here. One level that the mind is wrestling with is, am I being taken advantage of or not? And the mind is just going around all the evidence, right?
Right.
Yet what you're sharing and what we observe in our own navigations is that this just goes on and on and on. We're sifting through the same information. And even though we get anxious and in distress, there doesn't seem to be any relief from that, right? We all have
Exactly.
places like this. And really what's happening is we're missing the point that regardless of what's going on out there, there's an arrival, an upwelling in us of an underlying emotion that's really troubling, right? So here we want to make room for, I'm afraid I'm being taken advantage of, right? Like, because now we can give some attention to part of our being that's arising and attaching to this outer event. We can begin to uncouple it, right? So in a way, the story of whatever the thought is that you're being taken advantage of is just the surfacing of something deeper that we want to respect and honor and understand and extend kindness and patience to without it needing to justify itself, right? Or explain why it feels this way, right? So see if you could just say, I feel taken advantage of in a couple of different ways and just feel it a little bit more each time, independent of the outer event, right? You'll find something coming in.
Yeah. I feel taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I'm being made a fool.
Wow.
I feel other people are controlling me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel confused. I
Mm-hmm.
feel unable to extricate myself from this dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that the world itself is so unpredictable.
Mhm.
And I don't know what's up or down or real or not.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'm trying to sort it out in my mind, and it's not sort outable, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Yeah, that's right. Mhm.
And they say, I don't know who they are, let go and let God. And I give it up to God. Okay, God, you solve it.
Mhm.
You're the bright one here.
Mhm.
And then my mind says, yeah, that sounds like a lot of BS. So I go right back trying to solve it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I'm pointing fingers at myself, saying, why am I wasting my time with this thought? You should have, with all that you've read and all that you've been through, you should know what to do. Why are you so engrossed in this thought?
Yeah, here
And it
comes
all
Steve.
comes together like I don't know,
Yeah.
an omelet that I've mixed together, and I can't decipher what's the egg and what's the onion and what's the tomato.
Right. Yeah.
And it seems laughable when I say it, but I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I'm missing out on life
Yeah.
because I go for a walk, and it's lovely here. I have flowers and ducks, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
But who cares? Because I'm engrossed in this thought.
Right. Yeah. Well, it does present as a thought, yet as you've shared with us, there's a lot of emotion here. Right. And the emotion doesn't want to let the thought go because the emotion is desperate to be met where it really lives. Right.
Yes.
Where the rubber hits the road in our life, that's where the emotion lives. Right.
And there's this other thought that superimposes itself on this reoccurring thought that if I can only solve the mystery here, I'll be okay. And that's never true. It'll
Yeah.
just be another unsolvable thought that pops up.
Yeah. Well, it's both very real and also not true. That's the catch, right? Like, there's a subjective experience to our distress. It's very real, yet when I say it's not true, what I mean is it's something that's come from before that never got the attention it really needed. So it's still banging on our door, right?
Right.
So what we each want to do with our own version of this is just invite us to do that now. Let the eyes soften again and go back inside and invite each one of us to let our own version of what Stephen has been sharing, our own reoccurring distress that won't leave us alone, right? And first, feel the sanctuary of being here together, being held the way we're all held together, the way we hold each other, and really asking for an experience of the grace that's here. And just following that distress as far back in life as we can, in simpler and simpler language. And just saying to it, hello, I see you. I'm here with you. I saw it all. You don't have to explain anything to me. And let these words come from your heart towards your distress. Just really letting the breath come in now into the distress. Let it feel the breath coming in. Let it feel you here with it. Very slowly coming back. You know, my way of saying what we're doing here when we do this is we are being the voice we've been waiting all our life to hear. It's both very painful and very wonderful at the same time. I feel my own tears just close by, right? Like, yet there's a sweetness to the pain now, you know, because really most of my life what there was intense judgment, intense self-hatred, right? Yet this is what the distress is waiting for. Just this ongoing, being willing just to stop and slow down and turn to it with patience and understanding, without a demand for an explanation, without trying to fix it. You know, it was interesting, Stephen, as you were sharing the being taken advantage of, and then it went into that being made a fool of, right? Wow, that's a very childlike experience, right? That's what the child hates, to be made a fool of, to be embarrassed or to embarrass itself. It's just annihilating.
I will just add quickly that when I just allowed myself to be with it, probably wasn't at all about the dentist. I saw myself as a baby in the crib, crying and nobody picking me up, and feeling that the world is really not very secure and I'm alone. Utterly alone.
Yeah.
So thank you.
This is the part that we're really being called to turn to, right? Our own version of this. And, I was born in 49, and when my mother was raising me in the early 50s, it was according to Dr. Benjamin Spock, who said, don't pick the baby up if it's crying. You'll spoil it, right? So it's brutal.
It almost touches on this kind of a universal theme that life is cold, greedy, and indifferent, and we have to just find a way to deal with it. And sometimes it's just impossible to find that way. I mean, how do I hold so much greed and indifference in the world? In my soul, in my being day to day. How do I do that? It's not easy.
Yeah. Let's leave the floor open here. And this is an inspiralling. Whatever you want to say or don't want to say actually is part of what we're doing together. Really remember where you are and the safety that's here. And
I just
think-
want to, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
I just want to say how much I appreciate this recognition of this, very personal. We all have it, but thank you, Stephen, for putting out such a clear and powerful example. It's I've struggled with this idea of meeting myself at this level. This bringing this kindness to this intense sense of abandonment or neglect. I've played along with it all my life. I've neglected myself. So I'm just feeling a real appreciation for the clarity, I guess, and the level of this work. So I'm a little blown away. So thank you. Just thank you.
Amen to that, Dan.
Yeah. Brian, I just really appreciated your reference to Dr. Spock. I was born about 1 year ahead of you, and when I was clearing out my parents' home, when I was taking them to the nursing home, I found Dr. Spock's book that my mother had used. And birth psychology is a passion of mine. And it's also helpful to be reminded of my, the core of my own anxiety, and which is present for me now as I am experiencing a huge transition in life, pretty much every aspect. I said I was feeling settled, and I am kind of feeling I'm not activated at the moment, but I am sitting with a lot of uncertainty and kind of, fear on the edge. So thank you, and thank you for all that you've said today, and everyone is speaking is
Yeah.
hitting a spot in me. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And as we're feeling some compassion towards what someone is sharing, it's also a way of softening our own hardness towards ourself, right? Like that's really what Course in Miracles calls the unforgiving mind, right? Like we each have an unforgiving mind. And yet here it's easier to forgive somebody else's struggles, right, than it is our own. Yet that's what we want to do, is find a place where we're in our resistance to ourself the way we are, and helping to keep that going. We're actually creating that in an ongoing way, our own distress, just by our self-attack. Yet, as we said earlier, remember, this unworthiness has been taught to us for thousands of years, that somehow we're bad, we've sinned, we need to be redeemed, right? Well, we're at a different place in human understanding than that now. We're really wanting an experience of who we really are underneath this skin and bones, right? A spiritual being that is love already. Right?
And at the same time, this spiritual being, as you said, and
Yeah.
is if we have really faith in that, and so I come back to the initial subject, it diminishes our fear and scare of our impermanence here in the world.
Right.
Yeah. But I can notice these days I'm confronted with a situation. My former partner, his son and the girlfriend of his son, they had something terrible happened in an intoxication from carbon monoxide, and both parents. So the mother.
Lisa, I want to let the story go and come back to the feeling you're having here around it.
Yes.
Be patient with me.
Yeah. I let the story go. So I'm confronted with death and
boom.
With death, and I feel sort of a barrier. I feel a barrier. It reminds me of a situation that I have already lived once. So the fear of losing parents or so I'm putting a barrier.
Right. So it's a small step from this specific to the fear of impermanence, right? Can you say that we're actually considering that death is completely safe? Not only our own, but the death of people we love, right? Like, and that what we've done is turn it into the devil because our fear of impermanence, right? We've turned death into frightening. We don't even want to talk about it.
Yes.
Yet it's as much a fact of life as birth. We know that up here, but in our skin, there's that fear of impermanence. And to just make room, oh, that's my fear of impermanence, my fear of uncertainty, and bringing that compassion to it, like the spiritual side of us going to the human being, like, I get it, buddy. It's a big one, isn't it? Yet there's a presence with ourselves as we're going through that, right? You say what happens with the story, no matter how real the story is, and you know, they're very real parts to our stories. It puts us into a helplessness that now we're at the mercy of the story. And it can be very convincing. As Stephen was sharing with us, right?
Yes. It can be convincing that it is
a threat.
Afraid, yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And of course, the mind will say, well, of course it's a threat. I don't want to lose this person, right? Well, that you see the impossibility of the situation we create from our fear of. What happens is now we're not able to be there with somebody who's sick and dying, right? Our own fear, our own sense of loss is taking away our ability to some degree. So the other thing, you know, the world we're living in today, as I mentioned at the beginning, the planet Earth seems to be exploding and imploding at the same time, right? Like there's very little comfort in what seems to be happening around us. That's all the more value in finding that place inside where we can be with our fear and our anxiety and realize it's just part of our humble humanity, and then turn to it from the heart, to be that presence that most of us have been waiting all our life for. The mind is so funny. And the stickiness of the thoughts, I want to say something somewhat humorous here, which is here in the US, there was a big lottery prize. It gotten, it grows and grows. And it had gotten to $1 billion on Saturday. And I wanted to go buy a ticket, but the way my day went, I couldn't buy a ticket. I woke up Saturday morning and saw somebody in California had won that $1 billion. You know what my mind said to me? That could have been you. If you had gotten off your ass and gotten that ticket, that could have been you. Well, never mind that the odds were 900 million to 1. The mind didn't care. It knew it had me. It actually took me a while to let go of that sticky thought, Stephen. But you see, it wasn't even about the lottery ticket. It was about that deeper sense, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a walking train wreck. So I still feel a little bit of a pinch, but hopefully by Monday or Tuesday, it'll be mostly gone, right? So, and my pride is in the way. Look at you. You can't let that go. No.
I feel like that we're sort of working our way to just a few fundamental exercises to keep us like grounded, Like, for instance, the pathwork tells us death is an illusion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like, okay, how long is it going to take me to really get that? Death is an illusion.
Yeah.
And how long is it going to take me to understand that in order to stop beating up on myself, I simply have to just be kind to my wounded child.
Yeah.
I mean, because every time I start beating up on myself,
That's right.
like, I can't stop and say, Frank, you know what you're doing? You're just scolding your wounded child again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to really see what we're doing with our thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. That we're really hurting an innocent
who's been hurt over and over and
Yeah.
over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Saida.
Yeah. For me, Stephen's example went a little bit further because this feeling of abandonment that Stephen has been describing. Well, I also have that. And for me, it's very much, questioning myself. Well, am I having this feeling of abandonment? Is it because that I'm not doing it right? Is it because that I am doing something wrong, or is it something wrong with me? And then again, having like this this feeling of maybe also not being worthy. I get this feeling of mistrust, like I'm not, I don't trust myself, and kind of like rejecting. I don't want to feel that. This is
Right.
what I connected to, and also with that, I also feel, I feel like also, you know, this sense of being harsh to myself, because I have this feeling of, well, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm
Right.
not right, there's something wrong with me. And also with that, I feel, I don't know if it's my understanding and me using my mind to really understand. Well, with that, I also have this feeling of, I would say it's a desire to reach out and really give myself and be a
Yeah.
better version of myself. Like for me, it's questioning, well, maybe it's because I'm not doing it right. And with that, I also wish I have this desire to do it right
Right.
and to get to be a better version of myself.
Yeah. You see how this just keeps like a
Yeah,
snowball rolling
yeah,
downhill, right?
yeah. And
So.
also, like you've been also like saying it for some minutes ago, that like it's very important to connect, like to connect to my spiritual self instead, because when I say to myself, well, maybe I should do it right so that I will not be abandoned, then it's totally another energy I get. Like
Yeah.
for me, it's I gotta do something so that I will not be abandoned, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you mentioned it very, like it was like on spot for me, because it's all about connecting to my spiritual being, like being, even though I might have been like doing
Right.
some things wrong.
Right.
And this is like instead connecting to my spiritual being and like accepting, well, okay,
Yeah.
this is how I feel right now, right?
So let me engage with your side, which is, yes, connecting with our spiritual being is essential. Yet you say that can sound kind of vague, and what is this spiritual being that's going to help me here, right? So what we want is, rather than the thought of what to do, an experience that we can have in the moment. And I would invite you to realize we're all here with you. We're all holding our own version of what you've been sharing. And to ask you to take a few minutes and just say what those core feelings are in the simplest language you can, like a 6-year-old saying it, right? I'm afraid. And then whatever.
Yeah, because I actually, yeah, for me, it's my fear of being alone, like because I'm not doing.
I'm afraid to be alone. I'm afraid.
Yes, to be
Say it, yeah.
left, like left out and
I'm
being
afraid
alone.
to be left out. Stay
Yes,
with it. Stay with this feeling and just keep letting it say whatever it wants to say.
yeah, and being misunderstood and being alone. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not being heard
Yeah.
and seen.
And visualize yourself now in an elevator going down, 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 deeper and deeper into this feeling. See if there's some other words coming or not, just to feel it.
I guess I get like scared.
Yeah, of course.
Fear more and more.
Now I'm afraid. Now I'm starting to get afraid. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, going down with that elevator down.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you look in each corner of the elevator, Saida, and you see an angel. And they're looking at you very kindly. And one reaches out and holds your hand. Another touches you on the back. Another one says, "We're here with you. We're here with you." The elevator stops. The doors open. And you're not sure what you say. It's not very clear, yet you're feeling the angels here with you. The angels are a presence that's here with each one of us. Right? This is the divine nucleus. The guide tells us is in each one of us. Right? And just notice your breath. Sayada, when you're ready, bring your eyes back to all the people here with you. In the car with you. We're all in the car with you, right? You see, what we're learning here is we're on a path where there's so much work on what the details and specifics and cause and effect and the vicious circles and all that is great work. It's necessary, it's just not sufficient. Right? We do all that work so we can come to this place of just feeling that abyss of whatever our own abyss is and realize our greatest fear that we're alone is an illusion, that we're utterly held, right, and supported. As a feeling, you can feel it. It's not a thought. You have to convince yourself. If you just really feel whatever the feeling is, there will be the higher self stepping forward, like Stephen was feeling, right? Like others of you have felt here today. Like it's guaranteed.
It's another universal truth.
It's a universal truth, yeah. This is the experience of Go ahead, Saida, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Like, which is not an illusion, because all the other things, fear and all the abyss, it's an illusion, right?
So another thing we're seeing here is we can't have the healing unless we're willing to feel the feeling. Right? We can't feel the feeling in a general way. We're called to feel the feeling in a very specific way, that it's the spear point on our chest, right? That's what you were doing when you were saying in simple sentences, Sayada, what you were feeling. It was the naked truth of the feeling. Right? Without the story that there's something wrong with me. I have a couple experiences to go into together, but let me make sure that there isn't somebody who wants to say something first.
I'll just share that the dentist story. Like, I was teased about buck teeth when I was young, and so I made up. There are other reasons too, but I made up. People don't like me because of my teeth.
Yeah.
But it wasn't true. So I just felt like people didn't like me, and then I made up the reason that it was about my teeth as a possibility. So it's that deeper, loneliness or abyss. So I just wanted to share that.
That there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, my physical looks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I was little, when I was 8, 9.
Yeah.
And that the journey to realize that, you know, because I could get up, people are against me, you know, all that talking about really resonated. Guess I'm just anteing in here. And yeah, and just feeling that abyss too. But it's kind of a good, nice journey to address that child, welcome those thoughts and I had, and also the beating up that I took on, being like the people that teased me, I would be like, yeah, something's wrong with you. So I have that too. Guess that's all I was going to share.
Thank you, Esther. So here's my offering, which is at the end of the year, two things commonly happen. One is it's often a time of cleaning up, cleaning out, taking things to the thrift shop, right? And there's also tradition of giving and receiving gifts. So I'm going to invite you to let your eyes soften and take a moment and allow your longing to arise, longing with a capital L. You know, longing is greater than anything, specific thing we could possibly imagine. It's just part of us that knows that more is possible, no matter how pessimistic other parts of us might be. And our longing is right here, no matter how far away it might seem, no matter how elusive or distant. Just let yourself want to feel your longing. Now let your longing move to something in your life, a pattern of thought and emotion and behavior you're ready to let go. Notice and release any thought you ever had how hard this might be, or how many times you've tried. Just let yourself want it. The letting go, the freedom from this pattern. If the thoughts come in about how difficult it is, etc., just come back to wanting it. Let these words come into your heart, come into your soul. Help me. I ask heaven and earth to help me. Help me be free. Help me not give up. Help me know that freedom is mine, and if I really want it, nothing can stop me. So again, let the eyes soften again, and this time visualize something that you really need. I don't mean on the outer level, on the material level, of course. And if you let the longing come up around something you really need in life, on the inside, what is that? What is something I really want, I really need in life, that I've been waiting for? That I'm going to start to find a way to give to myself. What is that gift? And now allow yourself to really want it. Allow yourself to want it. And again, ask for help. I ask for all of heaven and earth to help me. To know that this is on the spiritual level already mine in me. To help me discover it, uncover it. Lift it out of the dungeon up into the light of my life. I noticed, to my surprise, I was asking to let go of my skepticism and doubt and distrust that things can be any different. And I was also noticing that, like any part of our lower self, my lower self, that skepticism and doubt and lack of trust thinks it's trying to protect me, right? If you don't want it, you can't be disappointed if you don't get it, and so forth and so on. So we've got just a couple minutes left. Let's move into our closing statement phase. Anything you want to say or share or way of really holding all that we've been moving through together in the most amazing way, really.
I just wanted to say I needed a really big hug, and I got it
All right.
through you and everybody else. And thank you.
Wow. Beautiful. Wow.
I just want to say this has been really good, and I so very much appreciate this group and you, Brian. Thank you so much.
We're here with you, Dan.
I second what Dan just said, and I'm glad you're back, Brian.
Thank you, Frank.
Yeah, ditto. Just what the doctor ordered. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Brian. Like I said, your words are always very uplifting for me, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.
Yes. Me too.
Yeah, I'm feeling very grateful for this opportunity. It's just what I needed. So thanks, everybody, and thank you, Brian.
You're welcome, Jen. So glad you're here, really.
I wanted to say that, just echo everybody's thanks, and Brian, that your statement holding all that we've been moving through together in the most amazing way is exactly what I was feeling and thinking. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So invite us now to take ourselves off mute and let the hands come up in a number of different ways. Just take your time saying, I'm here with you. I'm here with you.
Here with you.
I'm here with you.
I'm here with you.
I'm here with
I'm
you.
here with you.
I'm here
I'm
with you.
here with you.
Mhm.
I'm here with you.
I'm here
I'm
with
here
you.
with you.
Mhm. And just take a moment and hear you say that to yourself. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. Like,
You.
whoa.
Yeah.
I'm here with you. Mm, I'm here with you.
Thank you, everybody. You're beautiful and I love you.